Asher and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with my next guest who has some killer music. So let's welcome to the show Accursed, and I hope I pronounced that properly, because if I fucked it up, and then I'm an idiot.
You nailed it.
It's like my biggest fear always, especially since a lot of bands, they'll say their band name differently than what it should be or whatever. Like, you have to be creative nowadays to have a band name, because it's just so hard. There's so many out there. So that's my worst fear, is like screwing up the band name. Because I know if I was an artist, I'd be like, oh, here we go. This dude don't know shit about our band.
Jamie Jasta said it wrong. We still like him.
Yeah, Jamie Jasta got it wrong.
Oh, that's great. I love that. That's great to hear.
We still love him.
I actually just did media coverage for his festival, Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's a killer festival. I have to, hands off, I think artists should always be the ones running festivals, because it was so run like an artist was running it.
That's awesome.
And that is the best compliment I could give.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he puts everything into that.
Yeah, and like he understands what you go through, and that's the point. You know?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, and you guys have played when he's done the Jamie and the Josta and Friends thing, right?
Oh, so we did Thrash Thursday. So
It
was Josta, and then Josta and Friends. Yeah.
I forget who else was at ours, but yeah.
That's pretty
Tommy
cool.
from Prong, I think.
No, that was the other one. I think it was somebody from Overkill.
We went to a few of them.
Was it Bobby Blitz from Overkill?
Yeah. It was Bobby Blitz from Overkill. Yes, that is correct.
It's funny, when I interviewed him one time several years ago, like I have osteoarthritis in the neck from headbanging and surfing.
Oh, wow.
Most of the time you can't tell, okay? Because
Right.
I'll still be headbanging, I'll still mosh and all that. But during the interview, first time it's ever happened, he's like, dude, what's wrong with your neck?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, I was just headbanging at your set. That's what's wrong with my neck. But it's so funny that he was like so tuned into it. It's funny when, like, I come from that time of the 80s metal. And like now all of us are at this later stage, and it's like, it's so funny the difference between how the bands are that I was friends with back in the 80s, how they were then and how they are now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Taking much better care of themselves now.
Oh, even with backstage, okay, you guys know this, okay? So people, like my friends will be like, hey, can you get me backstage? I'm like, you really don't want to go there. It's kind of boring. There's nothing. It's not the 80s. Nothing's going on anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
And then even the thing with side stage, I'm like, well, if you like how the band sounds, you don't want to sit side stage.
Yeah, you're gonna hate it. Yeah.
Like, it's cool the first time you do it, and after that, it's like, at festivals, I'll hang out with artists out in the crowd because they want to be out in the crowd too. And
that's the best place to be, man. Right out front.
Exactly. Is it fun sometimes when you're side stage seeing what's going on? Kind of. Yeah. But I'd still rather be in what's going on.
Hell yeah.
And that's the key. See, that's, I think, the difference between metalheads and other genres is we're not there for anything else but the pure love of metal.
Exactly. Fan first, musician second, or I don't know. The lines are kind of blurred. I'd say it's like 50-50 with me for that.
Right?
Definitely, like always in the crowd, always trying to mingle. He used to call me the governor or mayor of wherever we go, and it used to drive him crazy because he still drives me nuts, dude.
Nice.
Gotta have somebody like that. Dave is like eternally outgoing. So,
well, there you go. And I'm glad you brought that up too, because everybody thinks that all musicians are extroverted, and most of them are actually not.
Yeah, it's weird. I saw a new phrase for that the other day, and I wish I could remember what it was. It was kind of like
ambiverted, or there's something like,
yeah, it was something about like it was like an oxymoron where it was like an extroverted introvert, where like, you know, I definitely hit a wall sometimes, especially in crowds and with people, and like I have a definite social battery, and like, you know, if my mood is off or not right, like I don't want to be around people. But like generally when I'm in good spirits and at a show or hanging, and that's why I love the metal scene so much, is because like I feel like there's more, my social battery seems a little more extended in those situations than just day to day dealing with people, crowds, being out. So, but yeah, I mean,
I hate when people want to put labels on you, like, oh, that introverted extrovert.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, like, why can't I just be who I am? I don't need a label. Like, I often say, and people try to label it, I'll say to people, like, I'm a total extrovert and a loner at the same time. And most people don't get what that means. So they're trying to say, oh, you're an introverted extrovert. No, I'm not introverted at all. I could be at a music festival with 100,000 people, and I feel like I'm there with my 100,000 closest friends, but that I'm alone at the same time, and the best of both worlds.
That's a nice spot to be at, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
My daughter, even when I said it to her one time, she goes, you know, you're right. I've noticed, like, when we're all around, you are totally involved and with everybody, but you're also in your own world at the same time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's the both worlds, like you said.
Exactly. And when you're up on stage, I think what people don't get is you go into this zone.
Dude,
you know? Like, and you don't even, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. You don't really realize you're there at that moment in time.
Right.
Yeah, at all. And then on the back end of it, after every show, I like think back and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, I guess we really did do that. Like,
right?
100%. It's like there's somewhere is a clip circulating of me, like from a video where like a dude dives up, like stage dives right in front of me. Like he walks, like ran across the stage, goes right in front of me and dives off the stage and gets carried away by the crowd. I had no idea that had happened until I watched the video of it later. I was like, dude, I would be too easy to kill up there, honestly. Like, I got no clue what's going on.
Right.
Oh, bro. Yeah.
I also know from all the artists I know, and me as a speaker and radio person, like, I am nervous right up until you turn that mic on.
Yep.
And then
it disappears, like, and
totally. And there's a switch in my head that just changes, you know? And so that's another thing. Like, I know so many musicians that have stage fright, and people think, well, that's weird. No, it's just a normal human thing. But then you go into this other mode once the mic turns on, or the guitar turns on, or whatever it is that you're doing, you know? And I love talking about that because I think people truly don't understand musicians.
I would agree. And I think that that's not talked about quite a bit. I actually found a lot of comfort in listening to the Jasta show, because he would talk to musicians about that. And like hearing Steve Vai talk about like that, and hearing, you know, just these guitarists that, you know, have these storied careers that I've looked up to, like talk about those kinds of things, and like, you know, what they go through on stage sometimes. It's like, all right, I get that. Like, it helped me a lot, like over the years, especially, you know, just kind of getting out of my own head sometimes. And like, you know, years and years ago, I'd be like, oh, I hit a wrong note, everybody knows it. Now I'm like, nobody fucking heard that. Like, on stage.
Yeah, you have to take a page out of the David Lee Roth book.
Yep.
Okay. I was at the 1983 US Festival, and they started playing on Ain't Talking About Love. There's 300,000 people there. And Eddie starts looking over at Dave because he's not singing. And Dave just looks at the crowd and shouts in the mic, I fucking forgot the words. And the whole place cheered like it was the best thing that ever happened. You know?
Well, it's just such an honest moment and like such a human thing. And I feel like a lot of like pressure has also come down on musicians lately to like not have those moments and not have it be as human, and just for like the experience to be so perfect for crowds. Like I see, you know, a lot of stage production and backing tracks on a lot of bands, and I'm not going to knock that. Like we've considered doing that at some point, or kind of beefing up some of our production live, but like those moments too, you know, when you see like one of your favorite, it's a unique experience, and it's wholly human, and you know, I can't fault anybody. It just makes it that much more incredible to experience it.
That's the beauty of live music, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know how what you said earlier hit home. You know how many times bands screw up and nobody notices.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't think like I would notice. I don't even pay attention to notice. You know, it's like I'm not worried about are you hitting the right note. You know, like I'm just there in the moment, enjoying it, and it doesn't matter really. That's the beauty of live music. If you want it to be exactly like the record, just listen to the record.
Yeah. It's like you could go home and listen to it. Like you're here for the vibe. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
That's where the Grateful Dead were really smart, because there's no show that you could go to Grateful Dead that was the same thing ever.
Go home and listen to the record. My parents were huge fans. That is like what I grew up hearing in the house all day, every day from the record player. Like they were gigantic Deadhead. My mom still is. My father passed, but my mom still a huge Deadhead. So like that was kind of how I was introduced to music, was through that, you know. I eventually found my way to metal, but
well, it was kind of similar for me because, you know, I remember like I was into music since I'm little, but I remember at one point in like 5th grade, my friend showed me 2 albums, and they're 2 of my favorite albums to this day. And one was We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll, Sabbath, and the other was Skeletons from the Closet, Grateful Dead. And it's like, the whole concept that's the 2 that he showed me that couldn't be more different.
Right.
But, but it, like, I think it forms, like, that's the thing too. People think that like whatever you're into, if it's metal, punk, or whatever, that's all you listen to. And even back in the 80s when we had the gatekeeping days, you weren't supposed to like certain things, but you secretly did. You know, the 80s version of coming out of the closet is admitting that you liked some new wave. You know, it's like I interviewed Josie Cotton, who I'm friendly with now, and I'm like, you know, I'm just going to say it now. In the 80s, I wasn't allowed to like you, but I'm going to tell you, I don't want anybody to know. And this is in the interview. I say it like that. But I secretly did like you back then, but don't tell anybody.
Right. Can't have this get out.
Right, exactly. But we all like different types of music, different vibes. I was a teenager. I was a total thrash metal head, but I did go to Slayer shows on a Friday night and Dead shows on a Saturday. Just a different vibe, man. But, you know, Deadheads are a whole different, like I have a lot of Deadhead friends. I consider myself somebody that likes the Dead, but the fanaticism just blows my mind. Like that people have for the Dead, like, because I like a lot of their stuff, but if I'm not on drugs, sometimes a little bored by it.
That's the key.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't do any of that stuff anymore, but I do remember going to a Dead show, and I took some shrooms, and my whole trip was, I didn't realize till the next day I was actually tripping. I kept saying they were bad, they're not working. I don't feel anything. And then the next day I was like, oh, maybe I did.
That's dangerous.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, but and then, you know, it's funny you talk about finding metal. So like, you know, my generation, there was no real metal. Like the closest thing to metal was Zeppelin, Cream, Mountain, you know, Sabbath, obviously. But, you know, it's like I remember stealing my brother's albums from like bands like the Association, the Rascals, the Grassroots.
Yeah.
And there was this like a chain of events. So then it went to, British metal, Priest, Maiden.
Yeah.
Then it went to I went to Motley Crue at the Roxy before they had an album. They weren't hair metal. Cool. They were like horror punk.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I remember going to that show. I'm like, I'm never going to a real concert ever again. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm going like for Slayer's first show ever, Metallica's first show ever. You're not allowed to like Motley Crue anymore. You're now into Slayer.
You're now into thrash
and I did. I went through like my favorite bands when I was young were Kiss and the Beatles. Then it was Zeppelin. Then it was Ozzy. Then it was Slayer. You know, and it's like, and then I found Possessed.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh my God, that's awesome. And now I found Accursed.
Hell yeah.
We did all that without the internet back then too, which blows my mind even more because like it was a vastly different landscape. Like I similarly, like when I was obsessed with like doo-wop for a while when I was like 13, Elvis Presley for some reason when I was in like 3rd grade, but like, found Metallica when I started playing guitar and wanted to like kind of start leaning into that, started learning like most of Kill 'Em All. And then I had a friend, I was meeting people locally and that's how it happens. Somebody introduces you to another band and like very long time ago, probably like 2000, I was introduced to like Children of Bodom. They handed me a Children of Bodom CD and another band called Bal Sagoth, who like, you do some digging on it. It's kind of, I don't even know how to describe it now. I probably haven't listened to them in 25 plus years, but pretty epic. There's swords and there's a lot of like, very epic metal. But as soon as I heard that, I was like, there's so much more going on. And then like, I'd go back to listen to Metallica and I was like, I can't like, I still appreciate it, but like my journey kind of started there. And those were like my formative years of just getting into like, Melodeath from like Finland, Sweden, some black metal from Norway. I didn't get too into that.
Well, I was there and got confirmed a few weeks ago in an interview when Kronos from Venom punched out Tom Araya, all because he said, "You guys aren't black metal, we're black metal."
Yeah.
Kind of badass.
And it, so for me, there were two things. One was the tape trading days, of course. That's how you found your music.
Yeah.
But I used to go into this record store in the Valley. I tell this story a lot because it's so cool. And there was this record store called Oz Records. And there was this record clerk there that every time you went in, he would hand you an album and go, "You got to check this out." Or he would show you a flyer for a gig. "Go to this gig."
Yeah.
And that was Brian Slagle. And it was when he started Metal Blade Records.
Okay, damn.
And
that's cool.
Yeah.
Right? And like, you don't even think, he didn't even think, because I approached him a few years ago. I'm like, "Hey man, that was a brilliant marketing move." He's like, "I was just a record store clerk, man." Like, I didn't think of it that way, but I do think of it that way because it's like, what better way to promote your bands but to be a record store clerk?
Dude, that's kind of a sick move.
Right? I mean, that's freaking brilliant. Like,
that is.
Oh my God. And, he introduced me to stuff maybe I would have never known. Like, I remember the first album he showed me was Venom, Welcome to Hell. And before that, I was listening to stuff like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, and then I remember listening to this album, reading the lyrics while I'm listening, and literally I got scared. I was like, what the hell? And, obviously I'm not scared anymore, but,
it wears off. Yeah.
Well, and then you find out too that, it's not what everybody thinks. Like, I had the initial reaction that probably everybody had about me and what Like I used to get called a devil worshiper because I wore an Ozzy shirt, you know?
It's nuts.
And I remember hanging out with Slayer back in the day, and they would laugh backstage that people thought they were actual devil worshippers, you know?
Yeah.
And people don't read the lyrics either. That's the problem nowadays. Like, maybe if you read the lyrics, you would know what they're actually meaning by it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's what happened with people, like parents back in the day, like that were, oh my God, like the parents should have just read the lyrics and they would have realized that it wasn't what they thought it was.
Yeah.
So how did this come about? How did you guys come about?
So
interesting.
Yeah. It's, I started this project in about 2017, I want to say. I set out with another guitar player, a buddy of mine, and like we started kind of auditioning drummers, trying to find people and kind of just organizing some riffs and like writing and whatnot. You know, we didn't have like a lot done. I see a lot of bands now that like get everything prepped and then launch, and it's like maybe that might have been smart, but you know, so but like I always like I knew what I wanted the band to be. I knew what I wanted it to represent. I know what I wanted the sound to be. And I had like a lot of material that just kind of was disorganized. You know, I had not played for probably about 8 years due to a shoulder injury, moving back from Arizona to Connecticut. And I just kind of wanted to capture some of like what I loved about the sound I heard out there from like a lot of the local bands I played with and like played in. It was just culturally very kind of different metal wise. And I didn't see exactly what I wanted. Not exactly what I wanted. I didn't really see like that sound up here. So I was like, all right, start something. You know, the early years were very formative. We made a lot of missteps. We, you know, had member turnover, you know, quite a lot of stuff as we kind of refined and wrote songs. We've worked with a lot of great musicians, you know, in the band. We've played with a lot of great people. But yeah, over the last 2 years, I'd say we kind of really started kind of buttoning things up. You know, Chris joined us after our last bass player left. Found him on Facebook and just shot him a random message, and
nice.
The rest was history.
Yeah,
it went to his requests too, so he didn't even see it for a couple weeks. But that it wound up ultimately working out. And then you know, Will joined us.
Couple months after that.
Huh?
Couple months after I did, right?
Couple months after you did, yeah. And he had never screamed before, and you know, he'd probably stop me right now if he was able to connect to the interview, but so like we threw him into it because he came and like try it out, and I was like, all right, well, you've got this like almost hardcore like mid-range vocal fry that like I think sounds really good over it, and like I want you to really like work on this and keep getting better. And we knew, you know, we could have gone, you know, with somebody who had like 30 years experience, but like personality wise he clicked right away, and like he, you know, demonstrated immediately like I want to put in the effort and time, and like this is my thing. So Will, if you're watching this at some point, we love you. But we like immediately, you know, one of the first shows we did with him was CT Death Fest, like right after he joined, and then like right after that we threw him in the studio because we had 4 tracks, like everything was done except for vocals, and it was like, you're up, bud. And he was like, ah. So it was a learning experience for him. He really like we threw him into the deep end of the pool, but
definitely,
you know, he did amazing, and every day he just gets better and better. We recently picked up a new drummer for, you know, that's been working out really well. We finally added second guitar back, which I've been wanting to do for a while. For like a year and a half, almost 2 years, I was kind of just holding it down solo. And then if you ever really want to be seen on stage and like not want to hit a wrong note, try being the only guitar player.
Right.
The band. Yeah, it's unnerving at times, but yeah. So but yeah, and you know, we in losing our last drummer and before finding Ethan, you know, we wanted to get something out because it had been a few months since we had done anything. And we've got material written for probably 7-song LP. We're still kind of like moving some of that stuff around, but like, you know, we're going to plan on starting to record that soon. But Sever was a song that like was done, and we wanted to get it out just to give people something, kind of bridge the gap. I know it's not the like industry way to do things. I know people are like, no, you have to like have stuff ready to go. I'm like, I don't care. Let's just play. The song is pretty fucking awesome, and like I wanted to get it out. So like we did the fly by the seat of our pants, mad scrambled, oh, we're coming down to the wire. We already set the launch date. We need artwork. We need this. So we're like,
Yeah.
and we're still learning all that stuff too, which, Chris has been instrumental in that. Will's been really helping out with that. I handle a lot of it. We all work full time too. So it's really like another full-time job, but we're starting to kind of figure out how to do this a little less
Chaotically.
On our end. But I mean, every day is a learning process. Everything we do is an opportunity to learn like what works, what doesn't, and to keep refining what we're doing. Like the new material that we're writing now is like, and I think you can probably hear it through the catalog. Our old guitar player TJ contributed a lot of the writing to the first album. A lot. 2 of the songs he wrote, and then him and I worked on the other 2 and kind of buttoned that stuff up and traded riffs. We did a cover of Cold, and we dropped Beneath the Burning Sky. I think he wrote the outro piece in that song. So still, I think that was kind of the last of the contributions there. Going forward, it's been me writing with Chris and Will. And now we've got Rob and Ethan, and like we're just kind of trying to get everything together to make sure we're as tight as we can be when we get in the studio. But every step of the way is just we're constantly trying to elevate what we're doing, and we try to stay true to ourselves too. Like I don't care about paying fan service. Like I love our fans, obviously. We wouldn't be where we are without them, and we're trying to grow that fan base. But like I do this because I love making the music. Like again, like I said before, and like I do get stage fright too, and I do black out, and I have fun, and like whatever, but like I've talked to Chris about it. It's probably my least favorite part about being a musician. I'm sure people would be like, that's insane. Like, why do you do this then? It's like, well, because when I connect with my guitar and I'm like playing late at night and I'm like writing a riff or a song or like inspiration hits me and like something comes out, it's like that, it feels more like a conduit than a creator. And it's like, I want to put the music out. I feel like there's more music in me that need, to be shared. And like these guys, they keep me real. They keep, we try to keep each other in check. Chris lends like such, I don't even know what on bass. Like he's a madman on bass. And then like, compositionally, like he keeps me in check, and then we'll argue, with the final process of writing a song.
We sure do.
In a room and argue about like what should be what. So.
But it's all for trying to get the best. There's a lot of yelling between Dave and I, but it always results in the best finished product.
Yeah.
Like if Dave and I are like literally, I mean, Dave and I are pretty much best friends. And when we're literally screaming at each other in the practice room, like that's when the best piece is going to come out.
Yeah.
It's like, because we always come to the same place where we're like bicker. And then it's like, fuck it, we'll just play it both ways and whatever sounds best, and then we'll A-B it, like play it both ways, and inevitably one of us goes over and shakes the other guy's hand and is like, okay, you were right, fine, okay, it's better that way. So
it's kind of like you're like Hetfield and Lars.
Kind of.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, we're going for that.
But I love hearing all that because I think a lot of people also don't realize that the band doesn't really become the band until you get to that lineup, that evolution of the lineup,
Yeah.
And that's where you're kind of at now, which is cool because that people don't realize too, as musicians, you want to evolve and you want to get better at your craft. A lot of us fans, we like for you to stay a garage band, but who wants to do that if this is what you're doing for a living, and for passion?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So tell everybody how they can reach out to you and connect with your music, buy your merch, check out everything that's going on with you guys.
Sweet.
Yeah, of course. Obviously socials would be the best place to kind of keep an update on what we're doing day to day and what's coming up. We've been a little quiet recently on there, but we're kind of working on some content and getting better at posting and stuff. As much as I'm in IT, I'm the oldest, and I'm just like, I can't after a certain time of the day with screens. But you can find us on Instagram and Facebook, Accursed CT, YouTube as well. We just dropped a new music video for this track.
Nice.
Accursed.band. There's a banner at the top of the page to sign up for our mailing list. Please do that. We're trying to get more people to sign up for email. That way we can provide more behind the scenes exclusive kind of offers and stuff on certain merch runs and stuff just for, those early adopters and key fans that, join that. And that's accursed.band. From there, it's linked. If you click on merch, it goes straight to our Squarespace site and you can buy merch there. If you're outside of the US and there's some sort of issue with shipping, DM us on Facebook or something. It's a free site, so it's very kind of finicky in how you can set up shipping costs and stuff. And now with tariffs and VAT tax and stuff, I don't want to see anybody get screwed and have to pay $60 just to ship a shirt. On top.
We'll get it to you. I've got a couple shirts to Germany. We'll figure it out.
There you go.
We're not worried about it.
So and then we're on all major streaming platforms. So make sure go forth and listen. And let us know if you want us to come play your town, if it's when we're trying to expand kind of regionally at this point. So we're focused on a lot of shows kind of around New England and Connecticut and trying to book there. So,
well, come on down to South Florida. Nobody likes to come here because it sucks here.
I'm all in.
I'm 100% in. Where exactly are you?
I'm near West Palm Beach. There's actually a couple real cool venues near me. One's Respectable Street in West Palm.
Okay.
And then in Fort Lauderdale, there's this one, the Culture Room, that I dig. But we definitely need to see you on the Danny Wimmer festivals.
All right.
Dude,
well, my aunt's in Hollywood, so I know she'd let us crash there, and then
let's go
from Fort Lauderdale there. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
hell yeah, man.
I did watch your video. You guys are badass. Everybody's got to check out your music.
Thank you.
And hope to see a lot more great music from you guys. And thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you.
You got it.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.